Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining my channel. My name is Chad Y. Royer, and the name of the channel is What's Up with Chad Y. Royer. And if you haven't done so, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave a comment or two, and share with some folks who you know. I go into detail about my cancer diagnosis, which is multiple myeloma, how it affected me, the treatments I went through, the pain and agony I went through, the recovery, the discovery, and the things that I have learned. Now, all of this may not have happened. For those who have followed, I got my diagnosis in November of 2024. But what if November 2024 came and went and I didn't get the diagnosis? What would have happened if I waited to December or January or March? Well, you see, there were quite a few factors involved where I was able to get the diagnosis in November. I had to find a way to get to the ER, the stretcher, the ambulance, in order to get seen by doctors and nurses or what have you. What was happening to me at the time was I was not able to walk, I was not able to stand, I was not able to move independently. So being able to make a conscious decision on my own without interference to make that trip to the ER or even to the bathroom, those were options that I could not make on my own. I needed help. I even had to make some modifications at home. So let's paint one scenario. I get the diagnosis in December. That means 3 to 4 weeks would have passed. And I'm talking mid to late December. That means Christmas for the kids would have been interrupted. I would not have been able to participate in any family activities or with some of my folks or my neighbors. I would have still missed some meetings, but that truthfully was the least of my worries, the meetings. The standard of care could have been such that I could have been assigned to a different doctor. I could have been assigned to a different hospital. The weather could have changed, it could have gotten worse, and maybe me getting to the hospital could have been delayed. My symptoms could have been prolonged for sure, but then the damage inside the body could have been worse. The levels of the IgG, the malignant cells in the body, the concentration could have skyrocketed far past the 500 levels. It could have gone to the 700 levels. I'm sorry, let me correct that. I want to say 5,000 levels. It could have reached 700. It could have reached 10,000. Who knows? Who knows what could have happened? But that number, and I explained it in previous videos, had to be brought down to a level of close to 700 in order for me to be considered for a stem cell transplant. So that could have only come if I took treatments to aggressively attack the cancer that was in the body. The back surgery would have had to been pushed back. The trying to get a hospital bed could have taken longer. I would have missed Christmas. I would have missed New Year's. And who knows, I could have missed Valentine's Day if I wasn't able to get to the hospital up until the next year, 2025. It would have taken, well, what it did take, let's say December 2024 into March. December, January, February, March. So look at this here. 4 months of treatments. Each month is a cycle of taking the Velcade and the Dara, the meds, the injections that go into my system that directly attack the cancer cells and try to boost my immunity. Now, look at this face. I had dreads. There's a reason I don't have dreads. There also could have been a reason that I still had the dreads. So, taking a step forward into the stem cell transplant, one of the conditions was I was going to lose my hair, whether I liked it or not. The hair was going to fall out. That was a choice that I made. I stand by it to this day. I would have had to make that decision of cutting my hair or losing my hair if I was going to do the stem cell transplants. But if I did not, and I kept with the treatments every week, drawing the blood work and getting the injections and the pills, I would have kept it under control, but the cancer would still have a presence. I wouldn't have gone through the 100 days of keeping away from people, the quarantine, and then I wouldn't have gotten the news in August that I was cancer free, because that was also contingent on me going forth with the stem cell transplants. Now, remember the 4 cycles that I was telling you about before? 4 cycles, 4 months of the treatments where the levels of the concentration of the cancer in the blood was to go down. My numbers were in the 5,400s. I said 5,000, but to be clear, it was 5,400. Let's say it was in the 7,000s. The weeks and the months, if delayed, would have increased that number. So that means the treatments I would have to have started from a high number, 7,000 or 8,000, whatever it would have been. And those 4 cycles would have taken longer. Could have been 6, could have been 7. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they take a different plan of action with battling my cancer. What if I was high risk? Then the game plan, you call an audible. You have to do what's present right there. What further damage could have happened? I could have been crippled. Maybe some of my bones could have broken. Maybe I could have had more fractures. Maybe my back surgery would have taken longer. Maybe I needed a different method of the surgery to correct what I was doing. Maybe it would have taken me longer to walk or to use the rollator or crutches or a cane. I had no idea. It was just by fate and a miracle from God that I got into the ambulance in November, did the treatments for 3 weeks as inpatient in the hospital, made Christmas for the family and the kids in December of 2025. Fast forward to promising numbers prior to the stem cell transplant in April, mid-April, and the decision to go forth with that, and all the things in between, bone marrow biopsies, the colonoscopies, the new drugs that I had to take, Zarzio, which I still cannot stand. That was difficult. The what ifs would have created more questions and for sure more complications. I could weigh in more on this because I think about it all the time. I'm very lucky that I can do certain things on my own. I'm not 100%, but I'm as close to it as I can be. Still, some intracellular issues that I'm dealing with where I do have to be careful. Otherwise, I could really put myself in a bad spot. But for what it's worth, I speak to you today being able to do a little more and a lot more than I could have in November of 2024. I thank you for listening to me. I hope this gives you the opportunity to think about how important it is to visit your doctors, to get your blood work looked at, to go to the dentist, to ask medical opinions with your primary care team. My name is Chad Royer, Chad Y. Royer. Why I keep forgetting the Y, I don't know. But what I don't want you to forget is to share my channel. If you haven't done so, to subscribe to my channel. Leave a note or two, or comments. I read them. You be safe, and you be well.